Welcome to Strange Tech. My name is Dylan, and today we're going to be talking about the Harpoon wireless RGB mouse from Corsair. Jumping right into the specs itself, this mouse is going to have a 10,000 DPI, 6 programmable buttons, coming in at less than 100 grams of total weight, single zone RGB, and 30 to 60 hours of playtime, depending on a few factors. Now, the few factors that it's actually alluding to there is this new system that they're doing called Slipstream. What Slipstream does is it allows the mouse to utilize a 2.4 gigahertz bandwidth line to have less than 1 millisecond latency. The reason that's important is because most mice use Bluetooth, and Bluetooth is 8 to 16 milliseconds in delay. However, with the Harpoon RGB wireless, you don't have to worry about that. Whenever you cut your mouse on the bottom of it, there's a little switch down here. You flick it up if you want to use the Slipstream, you flip it down if you want to use Bluetooth. And what that does is that allows it to be a really solid gaming mouse. You get rid of the latency, you get rid of the input lag, and it is super quick. However, that does come at the detriment of your battery life. So if you have the 2.4 gigahertz Slipstream setup on and the RGB zone, you're only going to get around 30-ish hours of game time. However, if you have it on Bluetooth and the RGB off, you can push all the way upwards of 60. So it kind of depends on your application. If you're just kind of cruising the computer, messing around, having a good time, not playing games or doing anything, really super high functioning, flip it over to Bluetooth, you're going to super extend your battery life. You can even cut off the RGB if you don't want. However, flip it up into the gaming mode or the Slipstream mode, and you're going to be right in that gaming rhythm with a super minimal delay. If you check out this little graphic that I put together right here, it's going to be really interesting because this is comparing this mouse to the two titans of the gaming wireless RGB mouse genre currently, right? Now, some of the big things to emphasize here is, one, this mouse does cost 1/3 the price of the other ones, and you're actually going to get more than double the battery life at times and 20% lighter mouse overall. Those are kind of big factors for a lot of people, and that just kind of breaks down the difference. Now, there are some other things that are in the negative aspect of this mouse. Some of the cons, as you would say, you do only have a single zone RGB. You only get the sales of the Corsair logo on the bottom. It's the only aspect of RGB you get, unfortunately. And you only get the two programmable buttons on the side here, where something like the G903 offers you much more programmable buttons than you would get with this guy. The last real issue you're going to have, or con, so to speak, that you would have with this mouse is actually just going to be the size. But that's a personal preference for me. That completely depends for everyone. But I have big hands and long fingers, so this mouse just feels tiny in my hand. And it is very light. It comes in at under 100 grams. I use the Rival 650 mouse, which is the heaviest one. It has adjustable weight, so I actually make it as heavy as possible. And it's a larger, longer mouse, which fits my hands a little bit better. But that's completely up to preference. It's completely up to the user. So that's not really a negative for the mouse in itself. That's just more something that just doesn't coincide with me very well. Now, there are some really great features. Again, I just want to point out some of the biggest ones that I think are some of the biggest pros of this mouse. And there's a ton of them, but the first starter is the price. It's $50. You get a gaming mouse, sub 1 millisecond response time, and that is awesome. You can play for days. The actual charging piece is really cool. It actually sleeves into the wheel itself. It's just a very unique design overall. The other two big points of positivity of this mouse, which I think are really worth emphasizing, are the feel of it. And I mean the actual physical feel. There's a grip on the inside and outside of the mouse, which is really easy to grip, and it feels like very tactilely pleasing, if that's a thing you should say. As well as the actual plastic piece. It doesn't feel like smooth gloss plastic. It actually feels more like a coarse, like grippy, textured, like a rough plastic. You get a little bit more grip from it. It's very nice to feel. And the other thing is the actual feel in terms of using it in game. I pretty much played almost exclusively with the 2.4 gigahertz Slipstream technology, and I noticed really no issue at all. It's completely the same as using a wired mouse. At least to me. There may be somebody out there that can tell the difference, but I couldn't. I never missed a click. I never missed anything. And I was playing mainly BRs where shooting matters, where clicking matters, where any movement is an important movement. And I noticed really no issue at all. And that's why I think for $50, again, this is a fantastic mouse. This is easily the best bang for your buck you're going to get in wireless gaming mice currently. Another video that we want to actually make is going to be comparing this to the two that we had alluded to earlier, the G903 as well as the Rival 650, kind of comparing them and showing what each one's little ecosystem is better for or worse for. And then, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's hard not to buy this guy at $50 if you just want an entry-level gaming mouse and you get wireless. You can still play wired. You can play with Bluetooth, extend the battery life, and you get a ton of features. You still get the RGB sails on the bottom. Ton of features packed in this guy. All in all, highly recommend this mouse, especially for the price point, like I said. But if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.